Hello everyone, hope you and your family are doing well. I'm very happy to discuss with you on our proposed NFO Mirai Asset Arbitrage Fund. Equity markets have been going through a volatile 2020. The Nifty is down 25% this year. However, if you see various bull and bear markets, we have seen that one category of equity funds has weathered these volatile markets quite well and generated steady returns for investors. So I would like to discuss on the arbitrage fund category and how this category can help provide stable return for investors. Now, the obvious question that will come to your mind is, how is that arbitrage funds can create a steady track record? So let me start with the definition of arbitrage. Arbitrage is basically the simultaneous buying and selling the same security or its derivative in different market segments to make, in I would say simple terms, risk-free profits. If you were to do this transaction, the key thing is you have to do this transaction in the same security, but in different markets. And what you would try and do is buy the security in one market and simultaneously sell the same security in the other market. I think so the key word here is simultaneous. So let me now take this discussion forward and share with you some arbitrage strategies that we use. The first is exchange arbitrage. Now, what is exchange arbitrage? So exchange arbitrage is taking advantage of the price difference of the same security into different stock exchanges. So if there is a security called ABC, it trades on the National Stock Exchange at rupees 100 and it trades on the Bombay Stock Exchange at rupees 101. What you would do is you would buy that security on the NSE and sell the same security on the BSE. And by this make a profit of 1 rupee. This is an example of an exchange arbitrage. Second comes to the cash and carry arbitrage. And I have few slides which you can refer to to understand these points more clearly. So like I mentioned, the second is cash and carry arbitrage. So cash and carry arbitrage is taking advantage of the price of the same security in the cash market and the futures market of the same security. This is the most commonly used arbitrage strategy by arbitrage funds. So let me give an example on how this strategy works. So let's assume that this example is of security A. You buy security A in the cash market for 1785 and you sell the same security A in the futures segment for 1800. What you can clearly see is that there is a difference of 15 rupees between the price in the cash market and the price in the futures market. And this is the 15 rupees that you will try and lock in. Now on the FNO expiry date, I have a chart to show you what happens on the FNO expiry date. But on the last day of expiry, the price of the cash market and the futures market converge. Because the futures option settlement is done at the 30 minutes average trading price of the cash market. And hence, the cash and the futures market converge to one price. So in the same example that we had discussed, assuming the stock price goes up to 1900, then you will make 115 rupees of the same stock in the cash market. But because you had sold the security in the futures market for 1800, you will make a loss of 100 rupees. But your profit is the same, 115 minus 100, 15 rupees. Now assume that the stock price corrects and goes to 1700. In this case, you will lose 85 rupees in the cash market, but you will make 100 rupees in the futures market because you had sold the security at a higher price at 1800, and yet your profit is 15 rupees. So what you can clearly see, irrespective of how the price moves up or down or even remains at the same level, as an investor, you're able to lock in this 15 rupees return by holding on to this trade till the expiry period. So let me come to the third arbitrage strategy. Now, what I explained to you was an arbitrage strategy where the difference was between two stocks. In this strategy, what we will do is take the advantage of the price difference of the index. So in an index or basket of stock arbitrage, the only difference is instead of a single stock, we will do the arbitrage of the index. So you will buy all the 50 stocks, say, which are part of the Nifty 50 index in the same weightage as they were as a part of the Nifty 50 index weight. And you will, in the future segment, sell the Nifty index future. And there will be some difference between the price of these stocks and the future segment. And that's again that you will try and take an advantage of in the case of an index and basket stock arbitrage strategy. This brings me to the last, which is the fourth strategy, which is a corporate driven arbitrage strategy. Now this arbitrage strategy can happen in the case of three scenarios. Once there is a rights issue, there is a buyback of shares, or there is an M&A action. In all these corporate actions, you will see that the price at which the stock is trading in the market and the rights issue price or a buyback price, there is a difference. And this is a difference that you can take care of a properly created arbitrage strategy. So essentially 4 different types of arbitrage strategies and investors can do to take advantage of mispricing which is there prevalent in the market. Now friends, like I had discussed that we are launching our arbitrage fund. Let me cover a few things of our arbitrage fund. So coming to the first slide, which tells you the asset allocation strategy for our arbitrage fund. So typically in the arbitrage, we would be doing 65 to 75% of our trades in the arbitrage segment of the market. 15 to 20% would be the fixed deposits or the margin money that we need to keep with the exchange or with the banks for carrying out arbitrage opportunities. And the remaining 0 to 10% is what we will invest in debt and money market instruments or cash and cash equivalent. So in very simple terms, you can, for simplicity, say 70, 20, 10, 70 in arbitrage, 20 in as margin money, and up to 10% in cash and cash equivalents and debt instruments. So this is a very simple example on what would be the portfolio approach that we would like to do. One obvious question that will come in your mind is, what would be the taxation of this product? So, as per the income tax laws, what they do is they look at the average monthly opening and closing equity exposure for the last 12 months to determine whether this fund will be taxed as an equity fund or not. And if the equity or the arbitrage is greater than 65%, this fund will get an advantage of equity fund taxation. And that's a key reason why, as I mentioned, we'll try and keep north of 65% always in arbitrage opportunities. Let me cover the next slide, which tells you a little bit more about our investment strategy. So predominantly, like I mentioned, we'll be investing in completely hedged arbitrage opportunities, which is buying the security in the cash market and selling it in the futures market. And that will be a large part of our arbitrage strategy. A small part of our money we will be investing in other arbitrage opportunities like we discussed, which is either index arbitrage strategies or corporate strategies like rights issues, buybacks, etc. Now, what would be our aim? The aim is to provide relatively a risk-free return without taking equity risk. So the idea is not to take any directional call on the equity market whether markets will go up or down. This strategy should give you returns irrespective of market conditions, whether they are in a bear market, bull markets, or in range bound market. And with respect to what we would be doing on the debt side, so clearly whatever money we have that we need to keep as margin money, we will keep it as term deposits with bank, and we'll be investing cash or keep cash equivalents in TREPs or very short duration debt and money market instruments as far as possible. But ideally, we would like to invest in instruments where the credit quality is high and the liquidity is very, very high. So we will be investing in low duration debt and money market instruments. Another question that may always arise in minds of investors is, what in case there are less arbitrage opportunities? So as I mentioned earlier, the entire endeavor is to ensure that we get the equity fund taxation benefit, and hence what we will try and do is we'll try and keep equity arbitrage strategy north of 65%. Also, in case we feel at a point that debt and term deposit return are higher, then incrementally for a small percentage, we may increase the weight of debt instruments or term deposits to take advantage of higher returns from that segment. And last, coming to why we believe arbitrage is a good category of funds that may suit investors. So there are a few advantages that we would like to highlight. One that I mentioned is this fund gets you the advantage of equity fund taxation. Second is we don't take any directional view on equities, and hence even in spite of equity markets being volatile, this doesn't impact the returns of the funds. Third, the endeavor is to take advantage of when you compare with short duration debt instruments like liquid funds or overnight funds, because these funds get an advantage of taxation. These funds can deliver better risk-adjusted returns to investors. So these are few advantages, and that's why we believe that this product is suitable for investors who have a time frame between 1 month to 1 year. Want to invest with a moderate risk profile, moderately low risk profile, and are ready to have regular income as their goal of investment. So with this, I would like to conclude today's discussion. As I mentioned, our NFO details are here in the slide ahead. The start date, the end date, and when we open the fund for repurchase. I would request all our partners to provide support to us for our proposed NFO, and for investors to keep faith with us and invest in the long term. And happy investing to all of you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.